What's up guys, Matt here from DCL Blogger. Thought I'd make a video on Reddit NFTs. Talk of the town for today and yesterday. It's been trending on OpenSea. I thought I'd make sense of it all. It's been on my radar for the last week or two, but just total been lazy about it and I haven't gotten into it. But recently seeing it pick up a lot and yeah, got into it. I thought I'd do a thread and make a video, sort of explain what I'm thinking, maybe get some feedback on what you're thinking. But really try and break down how to get into it and why I'm considering it, right? All right. So the other day, I was just browsing Reddit and totally just chilling out like I do on Reddit. I actually use Reddit quite frequently just to read up on some random stuff. And normally I'm in the crypto subreddits looking at stuff, but generally, I go to the popular section and just check random chatter, right? Randomly found some of these subreddits and I was clicking into them. So say for example, here's one on world news, right? World news. Never seen this thread before, just clicking it now. And every second or third comment had a custom Reddit avatar on it. And I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Why are people even considering NFTs in some sort of way? What has Reddit done here? So it made me look a bit deeper as to how this whole thing works, or how Reddit has gotten people to consider customizing their avatar, and some of them to get like their own avatars. I believe that this hexagonal shape means that they've got, this is an NFT. I believe if it's not, it's just a customized avatar. So everyone, when you now sign into Reddit, you've got like this custom avatar that you can customize. You can go style avatar. And you can, there's collaborations they've got with superheroes. I think they had one with like the AFL, so the Australian Football League. So I can just go, all right, cool. I want to support the Adelaide Crows. Cool, save. And now, my avatar will have that when I post comments. There you go. On the top right, you can see it's changed that. But that's not an NFT, right? That's just a custom avatar that you can customize. So they've introduced people to customize avatars and represent themselves, really consider their identity in social forums and platforms. And then for those that wanted NFTs, I believe they airdropped a bunch of people. I believe they airdropped a bunch of people avatars. So you can claim an avatar. So the Singularity, All Friends, Drip Squad, Meme Team, there's about 4 to 5 collections here that were airdropped. There's millions of these. Some of these, there's literally millions of these NFTs. So if I were to go on OpenSea and search the Singularity, right? If I were to search the Singularity, I believe I will find, if OpenSea doesn't lag on me. Please don't. Yeah, let's assume. Anyway, I've seen it before, but you'll find it, and it has like millions and millions of Reddit avatars that all look very similar. Singularity. Yeah, they all look very similar. They're not really collectible because the supply count is too high. So the way I've sort of made sense of this, right, is Reddit has over time released different sets or collections. The first one they ever did was this one here. There was an auction they held. I'm assuming this is the very, very early days when they were thinking about it. An auction they held for 4 Reddit NFTs, each one a one of one. Super OG. If you own one of these, you're like the holy grail of the Reddit space, right? If you own one of these and you're commenting around, you're gonna look so cool, because I believe your comments glow and you have some really, really specific features of why you should own this one of one. So these are sort of unreachable, right? Like this is the first set they released. I mean, unless they put them for sale, no one can really get into this. But then they went on to do this. They went on to release this massive collection of avatars. So I believe there was about 30 to 40 artists that went on to create their own sets of avatars. You can see Stutter, Hoppy Doodle, System 32 Template, Eric Hagen, Jimmy Go, Mr. Grumble, blah, blah, blah. There's like, 15, 20, 30 or so, maybe 40 actually, different avatar sets. And if you click into any of these and you start to explore these collections and you total how many of them they could have done, you notice that the total amount is a max of 2,000. So any of these collections that you find are actually replicated here, right? All these orange ones here. So these orange ones are all collections from artists. So like I said, there's about 35 or so. And so in those, there are these different avatars. Now, each have their different scarcities. So my mentality is, I always go for Genesis. I always go for anything that I believe in that will go on to hold a lot of value, whether it's CryptoKitties and Gen Zeros, or whether it be Axie Infinities and their Mystic/Origin Axies, whether it be early art of an artist, whatever it be, timeline really puts value to things. So I think if Reddit is going to grow into a platform where millions of people are actually using avatars to represent themselves, some of them are buying and representing them that way, and the Genesis set, the earliest one, will go on to have the most value, right? Because it's always going to be Genesis. You can't change the fact that one's Genesis. There'll always be those that will come after it. And of course, who knows, maybe Beyonce does a set here or something that's going to have value because that's Beyonce. But what's new will have value because it was the first. So it's hard to break down. It's a little bit complicated. So bear with me, right? So again, the first one that was released was this auction here of 4. Then there was these sets released by these artists. Now, it seems like these artists had an opportunity to make NFTs a second time around for spooky season. So there was spooky season and there was normal, you could do whatever you want, right? Spooky season, if you open any of these ones, then you notice, so you notice the ones that, the orange cover art ones, they are July 2022. So I couldn't find any earlier than that, so I'm assuming that's the Genesis set. So all the orange ones are July 22. That was when they were all minted. The spooky season ones are actually October 2022. So this one, so you can see some of these, I'm losing myself here. Some of these collections have a mix of different avatars. Some of them are collectible from their July 2022 release. Some of them are collectible from their October release, right? July, August is when the first release was done, and then October was when the second, the spooky season one was done, right? But the same artists had an opportunity to also create for spooky season. So I'm trying to find the one that I had open there. I think it's, which one is it? It is, I think it's this one, right? So you'll find the assembler in the July 22 version, but this imprisoned and some of these avatars are in spooky season, right? So anyway, bottom line is I'm going for the July 2022 releases. So what I did was look through some of these collections and look at which ones have the scarcest avatars. Scarcity counts. Scarcity matters a lot. What Rare Pepe and some of these really large some of these really large collections have taught me is like the ones that are scarce are the ones that you go for. Of course, there are artists, so you can look into who these artists are, and some of these have gone on to have a lot of collective value just because they're artists. But there's a really nice website over here, Avatar Market. So it's Reddit floor, and I'll zoom into this. It just ranks them all from literally the highest floor to the lowest. And the ones with the highest floors, surprise, surprise, are the ones with the lowest scarcities. So whether it be the Ambassador, Yami, Cheeky Beak, Golden Hands, whatever it may be, all the way up here, up to Midas Touch. They're all the ones that have 100 or so scarcity. So look at Cheeky Beak over here, has 100 scarcity, right? This guy over here, Diamond Diablo, has 100 scarcity. Some of them have 150 to 200 to 1,000, and each one, I believe, each set, I think, could have made 1,800 to 2,000 all up. The only different one is System 32 template, which only has 200 in the whole set, which is why I've gone ahead and bought like 7 of them. I think it's a unique collection where the total doesn't add to more than 1,000. The rest of them have over 1,000 NFT avatars, I believe. But that one specifically only had 250 or something. So I was like, oh, 200. So I was like, oh, that's like a really rare one. So I went ahead and bought a crap ton of those. That is in the spooky season, I believe. So that's not the Genesis one. It's like Gen 2, you can call it, whatever. however you'd want to say it. But that's why Reddit NFTs are going a bit nuts, because people think that Gen 1s are going to go on to have value as the user base of Reddit starts to use these. When it comes to collector value for Reddit, it's these ones that will go on to have value as you start to represent your Cheeky Beak or your Diamond Diablo or whichever ones that have 100 scarcity, and you're recognizable on Reddit because of that. And people are like, oh, holy shit, dude, cool avatar. And it starts to become a thing of flexing because people within Reddit start to appreciate these collectibles within the community. Well, then it's going to get really, really popular, I would imagine. It's sort of like if Twitter released their own Twitter avatars, right? You see how much we use Twitter. If suddenly like it became cool because you had a Twitter avatar that everyone on Twitter recognized, they weren't just isolated collection like Bored Ape Yacht Club and some new collections that there's always a subset within Twitter that don't recognize. If all of Twitter recognized these avatars, then holy crap, those Twitter avatars would go nuts, right? We're thinking the same thing is going to happen with Reddit. The way I would look into this is open up this site, reddit.com, go to the styling your avatars, click on shop, take a look at the different artists, look at these different supply counts. Then what you can do is open up the OpenSea.io/category/reddit-collectible.-avatars. Actually, Mando over here has a really cool breakdown of all the links that are important, straight to the point. Very good tweet here, Mando. Reddit NFTs is what you need to know. 3 million wallets created, 86k plus NFTs, 40k sold. The rest were airdrops. Minted on Polygon. Top avatar selling for 7 ETH. Market cap 100 million. Blah blah blah. And he's put some links over here which are very important. You can check those out. That's how I'd go about it. Now, the other thing about these is there's going to be baked in utility, right? So there's going to be a reason as to why you should collect it. So like I said, if you click on some of these, if you click on this guy's avatar, I think it opens up thing. If I open up his avatar, oh, I think they've also, oh, here we go, details. So if you click on details, then it shows you what these avatars will do. And one of these are quite interesting. Some of these are quite interesting. It says stand out in comments. That's because you've got this shape. Cool. This one over here, mixed with other avatar gear. So it looks like they might release specific gear that you can get. Maybe it's like a pet, maybe it's a different type of shoe. Maybe they'll do shoe collaborations and they'll airdrop it to people that own specific avatars. Maybe those artists, they will do collaborations. There'll be another marketplace that will open up. But those parts are very, very interesting to me because suddenly Reddit is going to go on to add ongoing functionality, it seems, to these collections, which again will incentivize a lot of people to get in. Now, the fact that, again, they've gotten so many people to pay attention to playing around with what their identity looks like. And secondly, getting or claiming an avatar, which now is an NFT that they can represent themselves as, and a small section of that going and buying them and, really separating these categories where there's the collector base, there's like people that just want to experiment with the free NFT, there's people that want to even experiment a little bit less with just customizing their avatar. It's really opening the conversation at least. And a lot of feedback I have noticed is people quite positive about this, right? People love the avatars that they have got. So I've gone ahead and bought a ton of avatars. So if you look at my Twitter on DCL Blogger, you will notice that I did a tweet over here. I've gone on and bought the scarcest ones. So these were 0.5 ETH. There are only 100 of them, but they were in the Gen 2. They were October ones. So some of these are in the October release, the Gen 2 release. Some of them were in the Gen 1, which are these ones, which I've gone ahead and said, you know what, there's only 100 of these. So I bought one for, I think, 1.8. This one sold for 8 Ethereum like 3 hours ago. These ones were selling for 0.7. They're selling for 2 ETH now, 1.5. Cheeky Beak. My boy Cheeky Beak, bought him for 1.4 ETH. I think the cheapest is 4 ETH now, so that's like 3x at least in floor value. There hasn't been any sales for 4 ETH though, so this is the floor price has turned to that. So any of these that have really good scarcity mechanics is what I have focused on. I've also gone ahead and bought like a ton of, just ones that aren't as scarce, but hey, you know what? Let's just buy 100 of them because they're like 0.02 ETH each. So I've gone ahead and done that as well. I think I spent like 60, maybe 70k USD on all of these so far. The bet is a long term. The bet is that these are going to be around for a long time, that Reddit will continue to build features and functionality for this. I will maybe make a tweet thread for this to accompany this video, but yeah, that's my mindset on Reddit NFTs. Been a lot of volume. Genesis for me is always collectible. I actually had my eyes for a very long time on this, right? Oh, wait, no. I actually had my eyes on the Twitter NFTs for a very long time, because I really think some of these social platforms that are pretty massive, their NFTs are going to be quite collectible. So these ones, I actually wanted to get the full collection, but I never really pulled the trigger because liquidity has always been low. Like there's been a sale like every month or 2 months. And that's like a bids being accepted, right? But if these guys had done avatars instead, this thing would be crazy. Like people would have bought these, like it'd be complete insanity with some of this stuff. And what, again, with the Reddit NFTs, what I always look for is liquidity, right? I always look for consistent buyer volume. If there's no consistent buyer volume, like if every 2 days there's a sale or 3 days there's a sale, then eventually it's going to dry up and it's going to get hard to even sell anything there. But look at this, like every minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, every hour or two, there has been a sale, right? And when I was looking into this, I was like, man, there's only been like 5 or 6 sales every day or two, so it hasn't really blown up. Liquidity is low, but still it has increased slowly. People on Reddit are using it. There seems to be this growth of intrinsic demand for this, but it hasn't been reflected on OpenSea yet because people haven't really gone nuts on it, right? Crypto Twitter or NFT Twitter hasn't really found it. Anyway, I'm going to put this out there now. Whether that means it's a good idea to buy now, I don't know. I think it could be maybe a little bit over speculated now. I don't know how high these are going to go. All I know is that I feel comfortable holding these for 2 years plus. Might sell some of them along the way, but for a while, it seems like, as people get to know these more, it seems like they'll consistently have buyer volume as people learn about it. The fact that it's on Polygon and you got to go through these category things to find them is good, because it means the barriers are high, which means it's going to take people time to figure out how to do it. If you take the time to figure out how to do it before everyone else does, well, then that's what opportunity is. All right, so that's my findings. I don't know if that's going to play out, but let's see. Let's watch. I'll do a bit of an update video in 6 months.